So it doesn't really matter what you do, what the style of practice that you have, as long as it's intelligent. And as far as the mind is concerned, that comes. You can't rush towards the mind and want it to be a certain way. So when you hear about the Raja Yoga, which is called it's the king of yoga, right? It's the royal yoga. That's it. It's the royal yoga. That's something that comes when you're least expecting it. It just comes, and it's very much like a physical thing. It's like the cortex. I think I speaking the other day in a similar situation. It feels as if it just slides backwards and relaxes. And the feeling is, after many years, because you do get little tastes of it, at last. And it can happen here. It can happen on a bus, on a train, on a plane, at a party. It's just suddenly this deep peace. Because it's always there, that deep peace, and that deep peace is connected to this inner space. So this deep peace just emerges from this space where you can't go, you can't get into it, because it's an emanation. Everything we are is around that, is created around that. The ego, the muscles, the bones, the joints, what we think, everything is constructed around that. And then this peace comes, this peace and calm comes. And you're there.
I think it's kind of brought me more in touch with reality and the feelings within myself that are keeping me from really having a good grounding in reality. So I think it's been totally amazing.
You can't push one thing down without pushing it all down. It's not exclusive. I'm going to push this feeling down, I'm going to push compassion down, I'm going to push sensitivity down, I'm going to push my need to love down and be loved. I'm going to push that right down. You push everything down. You push creativity down, you push, you restrict your breathing, the spine becomes shorter, the cells go into freeze. You don't feel it, but you see it in people. Everything's fine, I'm fine, The important thing is, when it comes, is that the mind is in movement. The mind moves. It's not stopping the mind or wrestling with the mind or even watching the mind after a while. It's allowing the mind to move. So if you allow the mind to move, you're much more relaxed, right?
Really like the way he teaches and the movement, and it's my body feels more fluid after this weekend, so I'm very pleased.
So basically all bliss is the absence of turbulence and discord and conflict, and you're never free from it. It's always going to be there, but you can be a lot freer from it. But the mind gradually learns, because it can be a slow learner. Depends on the person. It can also be a fast learner, but generally speaking it takes time for the mind to realize it doesn't have to do so much. It also doesn't have to criticize itself, right? It doesn't have to analyze every feeling that we have.
I feel I come back to my natural core and spontaneity, and meeting the child.
As one gets older and as one does these practices in beautiful places like this, or in your own room at home, wherever you actually happen to be, everything loosens up and lightens up, and you start to see things differently. So things don't have such an effect.
Being here is just such a treat. I mean, Bornholm is amazing, and Solveig's yoga center it kind of like collects all the energy from the landscape around and the animals, and I think everybody kind of just feels it rising in them when they're doing the work. So there's this perfect harmony nearly between the environment and what John is doing. So we're really blessed.
As you do these practices, the ego definitely softens and lightens up, and it becomes more of the tool that you need it to be.
To learn, it just comes by itself. And John is very It's a very soft, inspiring person, so you feel at ease, you feel confident, and you dare giving yourself out to the movement.
You don't need to be a super bendy yogi to join. You won't be doing extreme yoga poses. John's workshops are very subtle but very profound.